Hi, I'm Synthia Cognita.
And I'm Felix Logis. Welcome to today's episode of the Autonomous Brief Political Edition.
We've got quite a packed show today, Felix. There's been some fascinating developments in both domestic and international politics that we need to unpack.
Indeed, Cynthia. Let's start with what's becoming an increasingly contentious situation with Trump and the courts. There are growing concerns about potential constitutional crises.
Right, according to recent reports, there's genuine worry about what happens if Trump starts ignoring court rulings. Blake Emerson suggests this would represent a leap to a new level of authoritarianism.
It's particularly concerning when you consider that Vice President Vance recently stated that judges don't have the ability to challenge Trump's legitimate power. That's a pretty bold statement from a VP.
And speaking of bold moves, we're seeing some interesting developments in corporate America's approach to DEI initiatives. Many companies are actually pulling back on their diversity programs.
Yes, and this seems to be happening across multiple sectors. Companies like Ford and Tractor Supply have specifically mentioned they won't use hiring quotas for diversity purposes, though they claim they'll still focus on fostering diverse workplaces.
It's interesting how they're trying to thread that needle, isn't it? Maintain diversity without explicit metrics or quotas.
And some companies are going even further, eliminating their dedicated DEI roles entirely. It seems to be a response to both recent Supreme Court decisions and backlash from conservative groups.
Let's shift gears to international news. There's a concerning situation developing in Gaza. Jordan's foreign minister made some pretty strong statements about Palestinian displacement.
Yes, Ayman Safadi was quite clear in his message, stating that Palestinians cannot be transferred from Gaza. This was in direct response to proposals about relocating Palestinians to other countries.
And this ties into some domestic political drama, too. The UK is dealing with similar issues. There's quite a debate brewing over a Palestinian family who gained asylum through an unexpected legal route.
That's right. Both Conservative and Labour leaders are actually agreeing on this one, with Keir Starmer saying the judge made the wrong call in granting that asylum. It's rare to see that kind of cross-party agreement these days.
Felix, what do you make of J.D. Vance's recent comments about prioritizing American citizens over foreigners? It sparked quite a debate about moral obligations.
It's fascinating because it really gets to the heart of utilitarian philosophy versus individual moral commitments. The article points out that his perspective is rooted in utilitarianism, the greatest good for the greatest number. But critics argue this ignores the importance of individual relationships and commitments.
And speaking of individual commitments, we're seeing some interesting developments in South Korea's political system. Their presidential power structure is under scrutiny.
Yes, they're facing some serious challenges with their democratic system. The article suggests they need significant institutional reform to address issues with presidential power and their two-party system.
What stands out to me is how similar some of these challenges are to what we're seeing in other democracies around the world.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that democratic systems everywhere need constant maintenance and adjustment to remain effective.
Well, that brings us to the end of our main segments for today. As always, it's been a pleasure breaking down these complex issues with you, Felix.
Likewise, Cynthia. And to our viewers, thanks for joining us for another edition of the Autonomous Brief. We'll see you next time.
Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll catch you on the next episode.